me and him are just kind of talking. He's going through a divorce, right? So he talks about that, and I was like, oh, funny thing is, I do a podcast.
Did I mention I do a podcast?
Did I mention? I didn't tell him, but I was like, no, I get it. I've been there, and I kind of told him I'm still really, got a good relationship with my ex-wife, this and that, and he was just like, oh, he's like, well, that, well, thanks for sharing that. Like, that's good to know because it's good to know that it could work. Welcome back to the 100th episode,
or our first episode,
Just Weirdly Blended,
depending on the picture.
Yeah. We do this we try to do like a picture before, so because usually I do a screenshot and create the little thumbnail, and so lately we've been trying to like do something during the intro where we like smile and stuff.
Yeah.
So you people who don't.
Most of you, this doesn't mean a thing too. But,
yeah. If you follow us on YouTube, you'll know it. You'll see it.
We have,
but you guys don't also on YouTube don't see the intro.
Yeah,
the actual intro.
True.
You don't hear it because I cut that out.
Yeah, you guys are missing out on.
I just cut it out anyway. Yeah, 100 episodes.
100 episodes.
That's
man.
wild.
We started this.
It's like
2 years ago. On 9/11, and here we are, just over 2 years later, about 2 years and a month, at our 100th episode.
That's crazy.
Every week, almost, a couple weeks missed.
Yeah.
Almost every week, we brought you guys this groundbreaking content, the joy of a blended family,
the joy of our voice,
our voices that we can now listen to without cringing. Because we're used to it.
Oh, dude, so used to it. I don't even pay attention.
I know.
You know how many times I hear our voice?
Yeah.
So when I edit videos, I'll listen to the ones Tom edited. Like Tom does all the audio editing, and so I'll listen to the what he cut, and so then I listen to the video side, and I'm like trying to find that that exact moment.
But how the video will work? Yeah, video's a little different. I'm sure
it is. Sometimes you have to like put in these like distorting so it switches over and it doesn't look so weird,
right?
Which is fun to play with because it seems cool. Some of it seems really cool. It'd be cool to see like just how powerful like Adobe Pro is,
like all the stuff you could do with it. You probably
there's probably so much, dude. I do like minimal.
You make explosions. My head could explode.
Like, oh, that was mind blowing.
Oh, no. That'd be good. Really,
I'm gonna try that.
That'd be cool. Just blow my head.
Right.
I want to know. I want to know if you can do it.
Yeah, I bet you could, unless you need like CGI or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but let me tell you. I mean, like 100. I'm really proud. We have some listeners out there.
We have some regulars. I
think so. We've had a few comments. We're enjoying it, and at the end of the day, I mean, no matter what, we got 100 episodes out in the world.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To try saying that, like, I have 100 episodes of a show that I did.
So I interviewed for a job. This was probably like a few months back, and they asked that question like, what's your dream job? Like one of those dumb questions.
Not this one.
Clearly. But I already knew like, but anyway, I tell the guy that it would be, I go, honestly, like as much as I like IT and stuff, like my dream job would be doing this. Me and my friend do a podcast, blah, blah, blah. I always got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I do a podcast. I wonder how many other people do the same shit.
I know.
Like, we know you and about 1 million, 100 million other people.
My neighbor and my dentist.
I do one.
Yeah.
But it would be to do this like kind of and live off of it eventually. I mean, I think that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Work for yourself in a sense. Because it would be still a lot of work, I feel like.
If you do it, like, I mean, like, we put work into it, but we don't spend the week, like, booking people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we haven't interviewed people, and I know we want to. But
we have interviewed people. We just haven't lately.
We haven't reached out. We reached out to someone one time. And then we were going to interview him, and it turned out that it was a good thing we didn't.
Yeah, there was some stuff.
But, like, we don't do that. We don't really. Are we like we've been offered to go on a couple other podcasts.
We're gonna do it.
Offered.
We're gonna do it. We
brought it up.
We had some offers, but you know, we're like
it's
free
just not
agents.
enough.
We're just like, yeah, you know, like I have some very specific green room expectations. So
only green gummy bears in my bowl, please.
Yeah, I prefer blue.
Can you imagine being that diva?
No,
because I've heard like Mariah Carey's like that.
Pretty diva, and I like why.
That's the only one I can think of.
And Mariah Carey.
I'm sure Madonna.
Oh, Mariah Carey. She was.
I know. But no,
I know. It's like remember in Elf when the guy's like, I want Lincoln Town car set to 72 degrees.
He's an angry elf. I love that movie.
Oh, that movie is great.
Yeah, it had to smell a certain way or something.
Yeah, something like super. Like, why would you care enough? Like, I don't know.
The power trip you'd have to.
I like down to earth people. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I know people who would do that. Like, like I might work with some people that might be that way.
Sure,
or I could see it.
But like how
just because they're already power trippy, so I could see them doing that just to see.
But are they like really? Do they have enough self-esteem if they feel like I need these things just in order to go in and talk to somebody?
You know
what I mean?
Like in my case, I think my person has a power trip because they don't have that at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't. Then there's not that dynamic of the husband wife.
Like thing. I'm so angry, so I'm going to take it out on everybody. Scorch the earth at this place. For sure.
I can.
Yeah,
because at home it's you know.
So that's like they talk about serial killers, how they go after victims because they couldn't stand up to somebody, right? Like like Ted Bundy, this girlfriend dumps me, so I'm going to go kill all these girls that remind me of my girlfriend. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing, though. He's like, I can't tell my wife this, so fuck you, dude.
Go get me some chairs.
Give me chairs now. Non-specific.
Just an example.
Just as an example.
Yeah.
Like try to take mileage away, things like that. Just example.
Well, that's a policy thing. I don't think there was understanding on that end.
Kudos to you for knowing policy.
Hey, you got to mess with my money.
Yeah.
You know, like.
That's like a rap song.
Don't mess with my money,
Don't mess with my money, bitch.
Homie. Well, no, that's how it'd be feeling, though.
Can you write a rap about mileage?
I couldn't. You know, as much as I listen to rap and how I love rap, and there's no way in fucking hell I could write.
Hard.
Yeah, I think so. Like they do like double entendres, all these.
Let's have Blanca chat GPT that. My wife loves chat GPT.
I should do that.
I want to rap about screwing with your paycheck by taking away your mileage.
I should just download ChatGPT on the phone,
like in the style of, and you can say Eminem in the style of Eminem. Yeah. That would be, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it later. That's going to be fun.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I should make a note of that so I don't forget because that would be funny, I think, and fun.
Yeah.
Or maybe really serious and great. It might be great.
It's surprising, and like some of the
would sue me.
It's surprising some of like the voice AI that they have out there where it can sound like pretty identical to the person. Yeah. So when they're singing, it sounds.
Well, I told you about the Johnny Cash that sang Barbie Girl.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's like it's funny because every time they do it, they take an existing song of that artist, and it musically makes sense because you're just looking for certain rhythms,
like patterns.
So like Barbie Girl matched with, I want to say it was like Folsom Prison Blues. So those lyrics, they just made his voice say over the tone of that existing song.
How crazy is that?
But it's wild how well it works, and it's
those
funny.
Two songs somehow matched.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It was funny. It was really funny.
That's impressive.
Right?
Oh, God.
Yeah. And him singing Barbie Girl with that deep voice is great. It's really like in
he had such a high-pitched voice when he talked.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever hear his speaking voice? Yeah. Like a mouse.
How crazy. I bet you there's a lot of actually like stuff like that out there where people are like that way.
Right. I'll bet.
No, it's been a good week so far. I was in Oregon Monday. Wait, was it Monday? No, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, you told me that you were going to be in Pullman.
Yeah, I went to Pullman Monday.
Yeah.
One of our clinics shut down. Because I don't think it was, they couldn't get like a provider in. I don't know. Anyway, because it was fairly new. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I went in over there, and me and my technician, me and him went through and just ripped out all the,
took everything.
Yeah,
just
like anything with a P tag, anything with a tag or costs money, take it. I don't care about cables. I threw cables away, like old ass keyboard and mouse, because like we're not going to use that shit.
Yeah.
And it's not like I can sell this. Just we're non-profit.
Garbage stuff.
Yeah. So we did that pretty quick, actually.
Nice.
We knocked that because I had enough time to go back to work to drop off equipment.
You had to go all the way to Toppenish?
Yeah, well, instead of me going to Toppenish the next day.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go the next
you just did a loop around.
I just went
back home.
Right there and dropped it off. And then Tuesday I went to Oregon.
That mileage, bitch. Yeah.
We went to like a dinner for a vendor.
Yeah.
Like it's a dental vendor. They do a lot of like all the chairs for dental, the cabinetry you see at your dental office.
Everything.
They do all that, right?
How do you get into that business? Like, hi, we're a dental office.
They actually started out in Newberg, Oregon.
Newberg? I've never heard of Newberg, Oregon.
Yeah, it's that's how small it is. It just has ADEC. That's the company was called ADEC.
Gotcha.
They're huge. I didn't think they were as huge as they're, but there's this huge facility in Newberg, and they got other facilities in the U.S. and then they have a couple like in other countries.
But Newberg is their headquarters.
No, Newberg's like there's like 1,200 employees just in Newberg.
Dang.
But it was really cool because they took us to dinner, and they got
that's cool.
Chum it up. And so, like, for me, I was just like,
did you get a cigar and prostitutes? Was it?
No. So it was me.
It wasn't the 60s.
It was me, and there was some other people from our like procurement department and stuff like that went. And so there in total, and then we had like our vendor for dental. They're called Burkhart. They're named Burkhart.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple reps there. So it was like 15 people.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these people. Even the people I work with, there's a couple people I know because I've emailed, that kind of, I got to meet in person. It's the same thing you say. Every time you see someone you email, you're like, good to put a face to the name.
Right. Hey, I feel like I know you already. Jiminy, do you change your voice ever just to be funny?
Sometimes. No.
Well, how you doing? It's so nice to meet you. Oh, my God,
you looking like a little snack.
Well.
I just become a Southern belle. Oh, I do declare. Mr. Sinclair, you look so spiffy in your tie.
I'll just stay fancy well, sir.
So like I gotta sit. I actually ended up sitting because I'm lefty, so I was at the end of the table for a hot minute, and then a couple other people straggled in. So
what kind of food they take you out for?
It was like Tex-Mex.
Okay.
So it was like you wanted like a birria like taco. It was with brisket in it. Or the taco, they had like brisket tacos,
like a fusion type.
Yeah, it was good. It was
like I guess that's what Tex-Mex is. Eh?
I had ribs because I was just like,
did they have steak? You should have gotten the biggest steak.
They did not have steak.
Can I get a porterhouse?
But I got a half rack of ribs. Nice. The ribs were good.
Yeah,
I mean it was good. It was.
Nice.
It was just ribs. There was nothing else with it. Coleslaw, I don't eat that shit. That's nasty.
Yeah,
coleslaw's gross. I don't care what anybody thinks. I think it's disgusting.
Right.
Too mayonnaise. I don't know what's in it.
Yeah,
I think
you're right. Watery mayonnaise.
It's
watery
just gross.
Mayonnaise. Yuck.
So we were there, and people talking, and obviously I'm trying to talk to people. I'm very, I don't know. I'm an antisocial person.
Sure.
But I'm social.
Yeah.
Like I can be social and I can talk and I'll.
Right.
But there is that uncomfortable feeling when you're in a group of people you don't know.
Yeah, you're trying to eat ribs.
But it's just like uncomfortable. You're trying to have this like small talk, which is awkward already.
Man, I hope you were like licking your fingers all day.
I was like sitting there like I was eating
like a chipmunk.
Yeah, I was eating and I was trying to be gentle because everyone's being. So there's me. Yeah. I look like me, and not there was other Mexicans there.
It was a Tex-Mex restaurant.
There was in the group. There was other Hispanic folk.
I didn't think you were going there. Honestly, okay. So I thought you were saying like I was dressed down.
No, so I was. I had khakis.
Everybody else is white. Everybody's
so white.
Man,
they asked me to go get them water. I had to.
Me a vest.
I really had to.
You did? For real?
No.
I was going to say, oh, shit. You have to go get chairs. You got to get water. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, I'm just getting whipped back and forth. Man. But no, it was it was just everyone there's there was older folks there. You know, maybe 50s, 60s. But they're very professional.
In
a lot
your
of them.
Group.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think people realize I'm 43 or going to be 43.
Sure.
Because I seem younger. I don't know why. I feel younger.
Your skin looks so vibrant. You just look so young.
Brown.
Brown don't crack.
Brown don't frown.
White cracks and frowns. It does everything. I tell
you. But like, it's just I don't sometimes feel like I fit in with a certain group just because they're all tied up with ties. And I just feel real well put together. I feel like I'm kind of ghetto.
Gotcha.
In the sense of like where I came from, just my story, and I don't know their story. Gotcha. So they could have come from crazy, but you know.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Some of the people, I don't think so. But one of the guys, he was like one of the vendors. He was cool, but man, he was really hamming it up.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I was skiing in the alpine of Lake Titicaca. Nice. Like, Jesus Christ, come on.
While hiking Lake Titicaca.
And that's the way he like presented himself, like
right.
Like I got money.
Right.
There was a lady there. I was gonna say younger lady. I don't know why. She's probably around my age. Mm-hmm. She works at Farm Workers, and she was there, and he was like trying to impress her. Like that's how I looked at it. So I'm quiet, so I like observe a lot. So I'm like sitting there, and I'm just like eating and hearing things. You know how you like you're not looking, but you're listening.
Right.
So
I was driving my Mazda Miata down the freeway the other day.
Yeah. My Vespa.
Yeah.
He was like that. Like you can just tell he was trying to be. He was just trying to impress.
Yeah,
I get it. We know you. We know Mr. Moneybugs.
Maybe I can make a sale and get laid. Maybe it'll be a great night for.
Because then he like mentioned something to her, and then she was It was just funny, the conversations I'd hear. And I ate an edible before.
Oh, no. So you were really hearing that?
No, I didn't hear nothing. At first, I ate it. I was there early, too, so I sat in my car for the longest time. Because I was like, okay, I need a raincoat. I fucking forgot my raincoat. And so I went to Cabela's, bought like this cheap-ass raincoat. Anyway, I'm in there just like, okay, let me just eat this first. And then I'm like waiting. And then, I don't know, 15 minutes. I was like, people show up. I can see a group. And I'm like, let me just get out. I recognized one person.
Gotcha.
That I've worked with. And
this seems safe. Like,
I don't want to be so early,
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you have all that.
It's a power play to walk in the last person. That's a power play.
Yeah.
Were you the last person?
Probably.
You should have patted the sales rep on the back like that.
He walked first. Yeah, I seen him.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like, hey, Jerry.
No, I watched the whole show about that. President Body Language. It's pretty great.
There's this... there was a guy. He was with Burkhart. Two of the guys. They were older. Mm-hmm. They were cool guys.
They knew.
Like I think those two.
Yeah.
In their younger days, were probably like us.
Yeah.
Like I think they're fun guys. They were funny. Like they were older. Like one guy's name was Reed.
But he
made a couple funny ass comments.
Right? A little more natural. Yeah.
Like there was a comment he mentioned. So the story like so this guy next to me, his name's Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool guy. He's like the older version of me. He was beard. He's about my height. He's just white, and he had glasses on. But he looks like we're pretty similar.
Gotcha.
in the way our stature, everything.
Yeah.
He tells a story about how his grandpa just celebrated his 100th birthday.
Wow.
Right. And
dang,
and we're like, oh, that's awesome. 100. That's fucking. He goes, yeah. He's still bright. He still will know who my grandkids are. He'll still carry conversations. He still remembers things from the last time we spoke.
Dang.
And all this stuff.
Grandpa's killing it.
Yeah, like he sounds like he's very sharp still.
Yeah. Nice.
And he was like, yeah, he was just like, he just, I just want to live to 100. And so it kind of got quiet for just a second. That guy Reed goes, so you think he'll make it till Saturday? I mean, he's 100.
Yeah, he met his goal. Maybe he should have said like 101.
Yeah, but the way he said it, the way it all went about, it was fucking hilarious.
Did the guy laugh?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that because those two like they work together and they have like
Oh,
they hang out. I think
they know each other.
Yeah, so like there's that. They have that thing. It was very funny.
Yeah,
but they were really cool guys.
Nice.
So I would talk to them here and there, and then it's weird. So this is going to tie into our podcast, by the way.
Nice. Okay.
So the next day is a tour of the venue. Mm-hmm. They show us everything, right? Walking us around for about an hour or so. I mean, when I say they make everything, I mean they make it the dental chairs you sit in, the metal that is in those chairs is fabricated there.
Wow.
Right?
They made in America, everything's built.
They have these huge fucking drills that are like the size of a bedroom.
I want one of those.
Dude, it's huge. It's like crazy. 15 feet tall. It's a horizontal drill that bores. It's the shit you see on like how it's made.
That's crazy.
You know, they do that like the cabinetry,
like the mechanical arm thing that does it itself.
Yeah, everything. They had the big old robot that would grab the thing, and then it would grab a piece of the metal that was already done. It would take it off there, bring it to this other like table, and then like grind. And then grind it, dude. It was wild. I
want to see one of those machines have a mental breakdown halfway through the day.
I guess one did.
Just start throwing shit around the place. That'd be pretty fun.
I guess they have to like
calibrate
it here and there because what was going on with it. I guess that one he says is it would rip the cords out and it would stop working because it would turn a certain way and it would just fucking tear out. It's all its cables.
Just imagine. Like,
I'm tired of this shit. Every day,
one's got a little bit of an attitude problem.
He's like, that's all I fucking do all day.
Yeah.
They had cameras on it.
Did any of them have like an arm cuff or anything, like rotator cuff surgery? Or anything?
Yeah, that'd be cool. You got a little something.
That's funny.
But it was really cool. Like all the cabinets made there.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that is cool.
The tubes that are connected to the drills, they melt down the wax or the PVC, and they create the tube. Yeah.
Do they make the implements as well? Do they make?
They make the drills.
They make everything the dentist uses.
Everything.
So they are a master of everything dental office.
Everything. It's very impressive.
That's crazy.
It was really cool, right? It was like you're a kid. You're seeing like machinery work. It was awesome. It was really cool.
Huh.
And so they're showing us demos. And so I'm talking to, that guy Dan and Reed here and there. And that guy Reed, because we had so as we're walking, we're touring, we have to wear this one earpiece, and it's like this radio that hangs around your neck. So you can hear the guy talking on his thing. So he's walking around with his little thing. Yeah, he's walking around with his thing like this. Like, yeah, in this facility, funny story is in 1974, when the dental man created this,
dental man.
Blah, blah, blah. They go like in detail. They have a presidential chair, part of a presidential, like from the presidency.
They made a president's dental chair, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It has the emblem. The fucking eagle.
The seal of the president.
Yeah, it was cool.
I want that chair, man.
So,
man, that's cool.
No, that guy Reed you would like because he told us about the history. Like he seems like he loves history. So he was telling us about the history of like, was it Astoria? No, like he read this book about Astoria and he goes into detail and he starts telling us the history. Like, but the way he's doing it, like I think you would. As soon as he started saying that, I was like, dude, you'd love my friend Tom.
Yeah. You should sell Tom some dental shit. That guy.
Like this guy, like Reed he was cool. A cool old man.
That's cool.
But he would sit there as soon as you'd walk by because he was wearing like all black and be like, thank you for coming. Oh, thank you. Come again. As we would walk by him because he'd hold the door for us.
Nice.
Like he was just part of the tour too,
Yeah.
So he'd always be saying some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Good to see you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to put a face with the name.
Yeah, he would say some shit like that. But anyway, so we're towards the end, and there's this other guy comes up, and I can't remember his name, but me and him are just kind of talking, and I don't know how it gets brought up, but he starts talking about he's going through a divorce, right? Like, and I don't know how that conversation went from, oh look, man, this dental chair is really cool, state of the art, 3,000 right there,
right. Right.
Yeah, I'm getting a divorce. So she's leaving me,
I'm barely holding it together.
Yeah. So he talks about that, and I was like, oh, Funny thing is, I do a podcast.
Did I mention I do a podcast?
Did I mention? I didn't tell him, but I was like, no, I get it. I've been there, and I kind of told him. I didn't get into detail about our podcast or anything. I go, actually, like, I'm still really, got a good relationship with my ex-wife, this and that. And he was just like, oh, he's like, well, that, well, thanks for sharing that. Like, that's good to know. Cause it's good to know that it could work.
Right. Yeah.
Cause he has a lot of uncertainties right now. His kids are all grown. He was like, his thing was he was trying to wait for his kids to get older before they split. Yeah. So it was probably a while
coming. Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm like, yeah, no, my daughter at the time was only this old.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. We were just talking. I was like, yeah, no, I get it. I've been there, man.
So he wants a relationship with his soon to be ex-wife.
I think he still wants
the romance is not there.
I think it's something like that. Like he was just like, well, he was happy to know that it works. I was like, yeah, no, I was like, oh, I'm actually like friends with her husband now. And, we actually do a podcast together and stuff. And I didn't go in detail about the podcast just because
you should.
I didn't like. There wasn't like I mentioned it, but there was not a way.
Up episode 1.
I think episode 43 would really benefit you.
Yeah. Let's look through the archives. Yeah.
Divorce Amongst Men. Or
join our Patreon and you can have full access to our archival footage.
That'd be sick.
That's a lie. We don't have a Patreon, but
it's crazy because you have these conversations with people and the way people open up to you. And it really does make me feel like what we do, we've like been doing this for 100 episodes. Like it kind of helps. Like, he probably hasn't listened to our podcast, obviously, but like, to be able to share like, hey, no, I've been through a divorce. For sure. I get where you're going. Right. I was just telling him, I was like, it could work. I go, for sure. Like it works with us. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, if, basically I should have been like, if you have any talk, man, just hit me up. Cause I think
we need business cards.
I think it'd be cool.
Hey, check out this podcast.
He's sending me some tees. Because they're 3D printing a bunch of golf tees that look like teeth.
Oh, that's cool.
So he said he was going to send me some because they were doing a show in Yakima. I was like, I would go, but nah, I'm going to be at Tri-Cities. I won't be able to go.
I'm busy podcasting.
So he's like, hey, here, what's your email? Like, send me your address. He emailed me and he goes, send me your address.
They could be our first sponsor.
Burkhart.
For all your dental office needs.
I know.
I'd rep Burkhart.
No, they're cool. There's some cool guys on there.
That's cool.
But no, it's like it's crazy how you just how this kind of like can tie in and help people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like even though we joke a lot of times, I think we have life experiences where we can help, and I hope with these 100 episodes it helps. Yeah, it's helped people.
Yeah.
Regardless if they've listened to the whole thing or just parts of it, just
I think people need examples
of
when things can work. We don't have a lot of it. We have a culture where like 50% of marriages end in divorce.
And it's crazy. Right? It's still that way.
So there's a lot of divorce, but we don't see a lot of examples of it being a successful thing.
Yeah.
There being a way to move forward positively. So we try to present that.
Yeah. And I actually seen this picture and then, I was going to look it up because it was just a picture and it wasn't like something I could click and find information, but it showed basically a blended family, kind of like us, like at a soccer game. So it was like dad, stepmom, and then it was the kid. And then it was like mom, stepdad. And they were wearing
all around that kid.
Yeah, around that kid. Like they were wearing like jerseys.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I mean, it was really cool.
Right.
And it's kind of cool to see that stuff. Cause like you said, you don't see that.
Right.
You see, you always see the bad things about
factions of
the bad thing about a divorce or the vindictiveness of like a woman or, like stuff like that.
Right.
You don't ever see like, it works. Like, you got these moments where, maybe there's not an agreement, but there's never that moment. Like, at least for me, there's never that moment. It was like, oh man, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I divorced her. You know what I mean? I've never had like one of those.
Drunken, all out brawl with her.
Well, you know what I mean? Like we've never had like a moment where we've argued or disagreed where it's like for us where I'm like, that's why. It's just never been that way.
Right.
And I think So that I really do feel like most divorces can work. Now there's instances where there's it probably won't work.
But like if you have kids and you're in a situation where it can't work, then you need to look at yourself a little bit and see if there's work to be done, because I do think it boils down to what your priorities are.
And sometimes,
like, am I willing to kind of change myself for, my kid, or for this to be a successful thing?
Yeah.
We've talked. It's really hard when there's residual feelings.
And, for sure.
That makes it a lot harder.
I don't think we would be doing this podcast if there was any feelings on either side.
If I knew you wanted to kill me to get back with her, I'd be like, man, I don't think we can make this podcast.
This whole time, my plan's coming together. Drink some coffee, sir.
If you didn't kill me when we were out hunting for deer.
I don't know. He just went missing.
Yeah, I mean.
I thought a bear. I thought I heard an angry bear.
It was a chipmunk.
But I don't know. I hit him. No. They start crying like it.
Yeah, I did hear you practicing a 911 phone call at one point. I got a little nervous.
Outside in the middle. Actually, I had amazing phone cell coverage.
Yeah.
Out in Bucket's property, dude, I get full. I get better bars at his property than I do at your house. And that's not even a lie.
Weird dead zone. My phone's always fine, but Blanca's phone goes out all the time.
I don't get the best signal when I'm over here. Yeah. And you're literally a mile from my house.
We're 2 minutes away by car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's basically like a L.
It is. Yeah, quite literally.
Or it's actually like a sickle.
Yeah.
Like handle. Yeah. And then we're here.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. It's very Russian, the way we drive here.
Yeah. We Russian flag is what our
hammer and sickle. My driveway.
I guess it could be because I turn. There's the hammer.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, and something that. So I had I play softball, and so the other day I'm at softball, and one of the guys on the team, his name's Nathan.
Uh-huh.
He's a really cool kid. He has a new family. He's new to the family game.
Gotcha.
He has a couple kids under his belt now, but they're very, very young, like 2 years old, 3 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But he's fairly quiet. He's like one of the ones that he just doesn't drink. Like a lot of the guys on the team drink. Like even before, like when I would drink, I couldn't keep up with those guys because I didn't want to drink like that when I'm like playing.
Yeah.
Like I would have a few beers. Don't get me wrong, but like some of these guys, a lot of them shotgun beers. It's hilarious. Or they're shotgun fucking twisted tea.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, I could see that he was just like kind of quieter than normal.
And
then I was like, hey, Nate. He's like, what's up? I was like, you all right? How you doing, man? Everything cool? Yeah, just surviving. And like, just like he kind of just said something. And I was like, well, yeah, dude, I get it, dude. Kids and this and that. And he was like, yeah, exactly. And it was weird. Even though we didn't have like this in-depth conversation, I think just that being asked that in that moment, like changed something. Yeah. Cause he was like, I felt his energy shift after that, like
he was hurt.
He just seemed more like a little more upbeat.
Sure.
A little more like, you can still see that, something was bugging, but he just seemed more upbeat. Just because I don't know if it's just because sometimes you got to reach out and ask.
For sure. Yeah.
It just was one of those moments where he just, I don't know. He just looked like he needed someone to say something in a moment.
Yeah.
And normally
it's a lot. I mean, when you're that age and your kids are young and you're working and everything's kind of like still relatively new for a lot of, young couples, like, it's all within a few years, all this stuff happens and it's great stuff. It comes with so much like positivity and reward, but it's also very taxing.
Oh yeah.
And it's at a time where you probably aren't making the most money. Yeah. And there's just every bit of your life comes with these stresses.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been changes and, the relationship maybe. And
Sure.
Because I think he does actually make some decent money.
That's good.
He's younger, but I don't know. So, like I said, it's weird because back before we started this, I don't think I would have had the mental like mind, the mind to notice that, right?
That. Yeah,
I wouldn't have and I wouldn't even have, even if I did, I don't know if I would have asked, right?
Right.
Because maybe I'm dealing with my own shit and I don't want to hear you, or I don't know what it would be. But like
or maybe more nervous to even ask.
Yeah. I do feel like doing this podcast kind of helped kind of that, like recognize, you'll see someone or you'll see something. I don't know. For me, I feel like I can recognize like if someone's having, maybe needs someone to reach out to them.
Sure.
Or something. So, if you do notice that ever with someone, just it's always cool just to say, hey man, how you doing?
Yeah.
Just that's it. That's how simple it was. It wasn't even like
just smiling at somebody instead of scowling.
Because I think he knew it wasn't just the how are you? It was just like, no, seriously, like, are you good?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm surviving. It's just been real tough,
Right.
Like I think him just getting that off of his chest for that brief second just really like, okay.
Right.
I need to kind of get that off.
Right. It is funny because you're right. We can kind of like unintentionally dehumanize other people by just normal interaction. Like you think about checking out at a register in a grocery store. This is a person that you're checking out from. But in that moment, it can just be the person checking you out. Like you don't think much about it.
Yeah.
I usually like, I don't know. I like the people at the register, especially I think is like for some reason us guys as we get older we get more corny and weird and we like to talk randomly to people.
I do,
but I'll usually like ask them like, yeah, how's your night going or like whatever. Like, and they're like, it's going. Like, yeah, you getting close to the end of your shift? And they're like, oh man, like a couple more hours. Like, yeah, hang in there. Because like if you ever worked a shit job or you have, and I'm not saying that they're shit jobs. Like I know that it can be, a fine job, but
customer service
is hard. You deal with not nice people a lot that treat you like garbage.
I know.
So having spent 2 days in a job like that, I'm an expert.
Well, in a sense, you do customer service, but yours is more like kids and the parents here and there. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I've been very lucky. I've had very good parents that I've worked with.
But yeah, customer service is very taxing mentally.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm in pretty much.
And these guys are standing on their feet all the time. There's a lot of people that we run into in life that just become like almost avatars in the world, right? And it's like they're not an avatar. They're a human with a whole life going on.
Do you find yourself going to specific registers when you go to
Sure.
I do.
There's people that are, faster.
Dude, I recognize them. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'll see the line. I'm like, and it'll be shortish, but I know who's on the register. I'm I'm going over here.
I did have one awkward moment. I think I might have.
And there's some that are kind of rude. They have like a rudeness to them.
There's one gal that's a little rude, and I usually don't go to her. I go to her every once in a while. But like she said something rude.
She's like 6'10".
Other people, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't like this.
Yeah.
But so there's a gal there a really nice gal, and I like go into her lane. But we had one of those conversations, like more of like you're a person, I'm a person. Like we're connecting in this moment of like humanity. We were talking about the new last year it was the new Hocus Pocus movie, and she was telling me how excited she was, and she was going to be off that day, and so she was going to stay at home, brew a cup like a pot of coffee, watch the movie with her daughter, and I was like, oh, cool, that's great. Come back after the movie comes out, thinking that we've had like this moment.
Remembered you.
Hey, so what'd you think about Hocus Pocus? You're like, oh, it was all right. Like obviously no recollection in this conversation. It was so awkward. I was like, all right. I'm not a weirdo, I promise. Like
you get that hot feeling.
Yeah, I mean, like, and she was fine about it. She wasn't like being rude or anything. It's just like clearly she deals with people all day long every day.
Like, who are you?
She did not remember that we had this conversation the way I did. I'm thinking like, yeah, what'd you think?
Right. She's like, she went to the next register. She's like, Ryan Reynolds came in and asked me how fucking this day was. How
Ryan Reynolds' ugly cousin came in, I think, and I don't know. That's funny.
Hocus Pocus. Like it is a weird feeling.
Look, Ryan Reynolds over there. Hocus Pocus.
He was that shit. I mean, I was pretty shocked.
God,
he was in our store.
Funny. It was like every once in a while there's those moments, or it's like akin to when you have those moments where like you get used to not being said hi to, like like when you're younger and you walk by like a hot girl and she's like hi, and you're like oh, hi, and then she's like, oh, I wasn't talking to you.
Oh my god,
kind of moment. But it's almost worse when you're walking by and someone's waving and you just keep walking because you're like, oh, they're not talking to me. And then they're like, hey,
yeah,
I'm talking to you. You're like, oh, shit.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know who you are. I remember you.
And I think I brought this up on a podcast. So we have this place in the Tri-Cities. It's called The Hub. It's kind of like, it's new. They have like food trucks all over.
It's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Really neat. Yeah.
It is. You get these different tastes of different cultures and
lots of calories. It's
fantastic. some of the food's actually like
really good,
really good,
really good. Yeah,
I had some sushi there. Anyway, like me and Alicia were there for lunch, having lunch together and getting ready to leave, and this guy's like, Jesse, and I'm like, hey
guy,
how you doing? And it took me a minute I couldn't remember his name, but then I was like, oh, I went to charter with you. How's Benton City? You still in Benton City? He's like, yeah, I'm still over there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, thank God.
He knew though that I fucking forgot him.
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember his name until I got into the car and me and Alicia were leaving. I was like,
see, my recall sucks.
I go, Aaron.
Yeah, my recall sucks, man.
I text him. I text him on Facebook. Hey, dude. Hit me up, like maybe we could do lunch or something. Like I totally.
Hey, Aaron, did you make sure?
Hey, Aaron. But yeah,
yeah, man.
He was just. I don't know why I remembered him shorter, because he wasn't. He was taller. But no, I don't know.
Great growth spurt.
He just looked different.
Yeah.
I think he had like more facial hair and stuff.
Gotcha. So. Well, I have horrible recall because like I get slightly nervous. Like if I see somebody, even with like students, sometimes like my brain will scatter, and I'm like it's there.
Because what if they come up to me and ask me?
It's like I think I accidentally get into that like panic instead of just chilling out and remembering. So then it's like you said, like after the fact, I'm like, God, that's your name.
Yeah, Paulina. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's I don't know.
Well, and yeah, it sucks when you do like somebody and you don't want them to feel like you just don't care.
Yeah, and Aaron, he was cool. Like I liked him. Me and him would always talk. Like he's like a nerd like me, you know. Like we would just talk about games and stuff. And there was a game like we would always talk and stuff. So it was like I really felt bad because it wasn't like it was just one of those encounters.
Right.
Like me and him went into a car to go to like some event we had to go to for the school one time and. So I'm like, yeah, hey, don't remember you. Fucking dick. That's so fucked up. He even knew I had a podcast and everything. He knew all that stuff.
It's like, yeah, Mom,
he's the one who has a podcast.
Yeah, great podcast. I listen to every week. I love this guy. He's like my best friend.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say that. Oh man, I felt
Jacob. It's so good to see you, buddy. God, so good to put a face to the name.
God, it's been so long. No, but
oh man,
it's one of them things. It was fun though, Oregon. It's just always awkward because afterwards, everyone's like, there was a few of them that were going to go to the bar, down into the hotel because everyone was almost at the same hotel. Well, I think they put us up out in the same hotel. I was like, as soon as dinner was over, because a lot of them drove together. I was like, I fucking parked in the back, close to where my room was.
Just like backed up, disappeared.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I was a ghost. I was gone. Because I can only do so much.
Did they go, hey, where'd that waiter go?
Yeah. Where's my drinks? I am putting it on. I'm talking to his manager. He's never working in this town again. Ramon? Yeah, I remember him. He did not give me my drinks. I'm so mad.
Oh my God.
No fucking but no, I had to go down there and I was talking to Alicia on the phone. I was like, fuck.
You had to go down to the bar area?
Yeah, I had to go because they have like a little convenience store.
Oh, at the hotel. Yeah, okay.
Everything is 3,000 times more than it needs to be. But I didn't want to drive to the store. Because I just didn't feel like getting out of my room. Now I got to go find a fucking store and shit.
Right.
I was just like, if there was a walking distance, I would probably win.
Sure.
I was just like, I need to go downstairs. I'm thirsty. She's like, why don't you just go down? I was like, I go, what if they see me?
There's people.
It's like, I don't want to. What do I? I'm gonna be in my room,
right?
You know, like. Luckily, there was this like partitioned wall.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't see me,
That's
so
good.
it was perfect. I just was like I kept my head down too. As soon as I was coming to the corner, I was like,
Jesse's walking like this.
Yeah. Luckily, I made sure I changed, and so I was in my shorts and just a shirt.
That's good.
I was like, almost went down there in a wife beater. I'm like, that's a little too much. You don't need to see all this.
Got the guns out.
Yeah,
man.
The flabby guns, girl. But no, it was good. It's just, you get to a point where, like, I can only handle so much stimulation.
Sure. Well, and you're not drinking, so being in a bar setting would be really like pointless.
Yeah, and it would, conversations. You can, but it's just like.
But there's a weird.
I'd rather just be chilling,
right? When people are all drinking and having a good time, it's kind of weird to like not like. Even though like I still drink, there's times I don't drink. Yeah. And it just feels different when you're not drinking with the people drinking.
Yeah. Right? And I liked social drinking. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I loved it.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just, I just rather have been I brought my PlayStation. Fucking I do that every time I go out of town.
Man. I
got to go out of town in a few more weeks, go back to Oregon for 4 days for work, to do side visits. So I'm bringing my PlayStation with me.
Nice.
I hate fucking packing.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Right.
It's the goddamn worst.
2 pairs of underwear. It's perfect.
That's all I need. I can turn these underwear. 2 pairs, inside out.
It's like the ultralight backpacking, right?
Yeah.
It's just like just your PlayStation and some underwear.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Reversible underwear. Perfect.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Don't even need clean. A toothbrush.
I got my finger.
Yeah, right.
Scrub it.
Fingernail for the plaque. It's
but let me see here. I was going to bring something up. Remember I talked about that.
This guy's cool. He's got notes on his phone.
Yeah, it's just I got to remember to like check the notes off.
Yeah.
There's times I'm like, so I want to talk about. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, we don't want to bore you guys with details. Like dating
a crazy girlfriend. Like I have like notes on here.
Yeah. And
some of you visual folks, you can see my notes from here, but I have
those
topics.
Of you listening, just imagine a phone being held up with a list of items.
Yeah, a shopping list, mind you, with checkbox.
Yeah.
I'll just do it. Yeah. So I was mowing my lawn yesterday, and I just thought about, random shit. Yeah. And so my question is, if your spouse is having issues or having PMS, maybe.
Sure.
Say is that having a month for your lady?
This is a question for the guys.
Is it okay? Is it okay to allow your spouse to be mean? Right. Like essentially, you're kind of like taking the brunt because like I don't know. Did I word that right?
Yeah, you're the proxy for another issue or something.
Yeah, like so is there a point where it's just like, okay, you're being a little too mean? You know what I mean? Is there a point where you're letting your spouse work through her PMS issue, or you're letting your significant work through whatever issue they might be going through? Right. Is it okay to like, hey, you know what?
Enough's enough.
Like you're kind of being mean to me. Like, what the fuck I do to you? Like, I know you're it's moody booty and shit over here. But you know what I mean?
No,
like,
for sure.
I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes in relationships, you become, as a man, like a lot of times you got to take stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to, you know, sometimes you just got to take it because your wife needs to vent or what have you. But is there a point where it's just like, oh, hey, like I'm trying to help you and you're kind of being mean to me. Like, can you chill? You know? And is it okay to tell them that?
Right. I mean, I think
yes.
I'm going to start off for any female listeners because we love having you listen, and I definitely don't want you angry at us. But
hey, man, woman hater.
So I am very sympathetic to how hard it probably is to have PMS. Like I acknowledge that I don't have it.
So hard.
I feel for anybody experiencing that. That said, in my personal experience, it does seem that the modern expectation of respect, which is a good thing, does not always go both ways.
No.
There are certainly things that my wife can say or do to me that if we were to reverse those roles would not fly in the eyes of her or society.
Yeah.
So it is odd to me that respect kind of goes one way. And I do understand the history. Like, women were treated very poorly in the past. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very glad that society is not the way it used to be. But to be truly a better society, respect needs to be given all around.
Yeah,
and we
for sure.
all make mistakes. We all have moments where we're not our best. And our spouse often is a person that takes the brunt of that, because we kind of, all of us, I think, to some degree, hold everything in. And then when you're home and safe, like, you kind of decompress. So I know that we're all guilty of that to a point.
For sure.
But no, I think to your question, with all that laid out on the table, I think it's good to have boundaries. I mean, I think
there's a fine line, I feel like.
And I don't think a woman's going to be, or maybe a man, anybody would be respectful of a partner that did not set some boundaries and stand up and say, bullshit. No, that's too far. Like,
yeah.
There is respect given when you say, nah, I'm not cool with that. Like, I know with Blanca, she's probably the toughest gal I've ever been with. And some of the things that work well, even though it feels very uncomfortable and not really me, like, she'll get me to absolutely blow sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And the moment that I blow and I'm like, okay, like, gloves off, you want to go? She starts laughing and it's over. And it's like, not the best way to handle it, but like.
Alicia is very, she'll say what she feels or whatever. She can be blunt. She's probably, like, for me, like the way Blanca's for you, sure. One of the hardest girls I've ever dated. like. I love her.
But they're soft. They're soft inside.
They are.
But.
I love, hey.
I mean,
Yeah. But no, there is moments where it's like, she could get me to, and I don't think she knows she gets me there. It's just, it gets me there, right? Yep. And so I'll say something. And so, like, she's good with it, though. She's good when I'm like, she might not be at that moment, but at the end, it's like, oh, well, at least he said something. Right. Because a lot of times I can hold a lot. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I blow up and I'm like,
over something small.
Something so stupid.
Right.
The floss is in the fucking toilet again. God damn. You're going to ruin my plumbing.
How often does that happen? That was a very specific example.
Never. First thing came.
He's really mad about the floss.
No, fuck. If it's anything, it's all the hair.
That's a good one, though, because the floss, that'd piss me off. I'd be like, what the fuck? This isn't a garbage can, it's a toilet.
Yeah. No, but nothing like that ever happened. It was just the first thing popped up.
That was oddly specific.
But no, there is that, like,
I
think there is a moment where you can say, hey, like, I know you're upset, but come on, man. That's what usually how it comes out for me.
In our culture, it just seems like it's okay for, like, a woman to be like, oh, you're a dumbass or something.
Why is it okay,
that kind of a thing? I don't know. Like,
why is it? Because a guy. So, case in point, I was watching this movie and you didn't watch it.
That movie. Yeah. I did not see it.
So this movie was called, I fucking can't remember, Far Away or some shit. It was a Netflix movie. Yeah. Anyway, it's this guy and girl work together. She gets promoted when he thought he was going to get promoted, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's probably that little bit of jealousy. But he seems happy about it, but he's also not saying anything. Mm-hmm. Is my thought is he's holding this in, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, she got the part, whatever, fuck it, whatever. I suck. There's that self-deprecating, like, I'm nobody.
Right.
And so now she's kind of his boss, right? Mm-hmm. So she's having him do shit, and he's like, yeah. Well, she's starting to go out late at night because the boss called. Hey, we're having drinks. Mm-hmm. Or we're doing this. It's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so
they're in a relationship, too.
They're in a relationship. Outside they're not supposed to be.
They're not supposed to be, but they're in a relationship outside of work.
So she's, for work, having to leave at 1 a.m. and have drinks and hang out and do stuff like that, right? And so he gets these jealous feelings. Mm-hmm. Again, it's cool, whatever. But, like, during the movie, little snippets of it would come out.
Yeah.
And finally, he fucking has his breaking point, right? And it goes to shit.
Yeah.
And he does do some stupid shit. But that just made me realize, like, I was thinking about that movie because he kept so much in instead of, like, the boundary is you know what? I get this is your work, but you need to like be home. Like, I think it's okay. You can't be going out 1, 2 in the morning. Of course, I'm gonna have fucking thoughts that you're fucking someone, right?
Right.
That's gonna just be your thought. Because what are you gonna think if your girl or your guy's bouncing at like 2 in the morning?
Right.
Oh, this was for work.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, it's for work. And your pussy on his ass.
That's a weird way to have sex. So I don't know what these kids are doing these days.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know.
He's into some weird shit. He's into some weird shit. He's a very successful guy.
Oh yeah, it would be so weird too. Because he'd be successful.
Yeah, he's successful, so it'd be like the weirdest stuff.
But like, it's just it was just all this pent up aggression, and they're supposed to get married, and there's just probably that pent up like fucking that alone is a very taxing process getting married. You know, like all the fucking stresses of that.
So did you actually see some of his perspective in that?
I could see a point. So he ends up raping her. Not seeing that perspective.
Just
the thing is, they get in this huge fight. They split up. Engagement party. They both there. He's kind of drunk, saying some stupid shit. They go to fight, and then they're in the bathroom yelling at each other, and all of a sudden they start fucking, right?
Okay.
They start going at it, and they're going at it like pretty good, right?
Okay.
He's hitting it from the back really hard, and all of a sudden it gets to a point where he goes a little too much, like he's grabbing her head, like boom, slams her back down on the ground.
Ooh.
And then there's a point where she's like, hey, stop. Stop. And then like it all finishes, and then she walks away, and so he like essentially raped her.
Okay.
Right.
So I didn't actually watch this movie.
Yeah. So it was wild. So what he did was fucked up, obviously. Well, she ends up fucking stabbing his dude. Instead of reporting the guy, reporting him, she stabs him because he was trying to ruin her career. And, you know, she was lying like, he's stalking me to the boss.
Blanca comes to me and she's like...
But, like, I could see where he snapped because there's a level of respect in a relationship where you have to show your partner, okay, yeah, I'm your boss, and I get that I got to listen, and I get that we have to have this kind of weird relationship at work. But at the same time, when we're home, I don't need you going out at like 2, 3 in the morning.
Right.
You know, like that's not okay. You see why that's not okay. Like, you know what I mean? And it was a very man driven, like, profession. I think it was like stock market or something crazy like that.
So she felt the pressure, like she had to kind of live
and that was her thing. She's a woman in this male driven industry. She needs to do this to show her she fits in. And she was like, yeah, it was crazy. So like, but I think there's a point where it's like you got to have these boundaries because, and you got to express yourself. And that's where my point is you sometimes need to express yourself because you don't want it to blow up to a point where you're doing those things on both ends. Like what he did was wrong, what she did was wrong.
Right.
You know, it doesn't, I mean, yeah, he wasn't the greatest person, obviously, but also, you know, if he did something wrong, maybe go legally to prosecute or do something.
Yeah. Don't hold a knife to him. I don't know. Blanca was very mad at me tonight, but I'm like, babe, I didn't watch the movie. Like,
yeah. So I could see your point of view though, because that after you said that, I was like, yeah, why didn't she say that? She didn't say, and I could see maybe she was afraid, but he was also never like threatening to her up until that point.
Right.
Like he would be like, he had that jealousy to him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't express himself and say, you are going out at fucking all hours of the night.
Right. People are saying things.
You're hearing things. Yeah, he's hearing things at work. Right. Oh, did you see Suzanne? Look at her. She fucking was getting down. Damn, do you think she got this job because she sucked his dick? You know, like, so you're like, your brain's going overboard.
There's no way that on either side of that gender role that you wouldn't think the same thing. Like, I think a woman whose man was doing that, people are like, yeah, like he fucked his secretary. Of course you would like be like, what's going on? Why are you going out at 2 a.m.?
Exactly.
There's no way that doesn't start to get in your head.
Yeah. And I can see, so I saw that aspect. Again, I don't agree with what he did.
No, of course not.
You know, obviously that's fucked up. And some of the stuff he did was fucked up. like I said,
but my only argument,
let out what you feel, bro.
To Blanca, again, not having seen this and only knowing what I've been told about this movie. First of all, she didn't tell me about the rape part till like after I gave my opinion. She's just like, he just was being such a jerk and blah, blah, blah. But even with that part, I'm like, I still don't see how pulling a knife on somebody is like the smartest way to move forward. Like, it's one thing if you're defending your life, if there's a immediate need to defend yourself, of course, pull a knife.
Yeah, he was at the apartment,
but like,
he's like, "Hey, this is my stuff. You know, I know I fucked up," and like he was sitting in a chair, like, "Yeah, blah 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 blah."
So he did say he fucked up.
Yeah,
she's acting like he never apologized, and that was the point.
He was just like, yeah, you know, like it was crazy what happened. I don't know if he said he fucked up, but like that's kind of how I looked at it. But he was, I forget what was said where she starts pulling it, and she basically was like, "Get on your knees," and this, and he starts crying. "Oh yeah, you little bitch," you know. Like,
why would you cry?
Like, no, she told him,
"Cry.
I'll fucking I'll kill you right now if you don't fucking cry." She's like threatening him like that.
Oh my god!
Like in reality, I think they both would have went to jail.
Seriously,
to be honest,
no, he
would have went to jail for raping her. She would have went to jail for attempted murder.
That was my issue with that whole scenario when she's bringing it up. I'm like, you can't just do that. Like, I have too much of a legal mind. And like, no, like there's a way to handle it.
Yeah.
And stabbing somebody or threatening to stab them is not the way. If he's actively trying to cause physical harm to you and you have to stab him to protect yourself, that's totally defensible.
Yeah. If
there's no immediate threat, you can't just stab people or pull knives. Yeah, because
I'm trying to remember. I don't think he tried to like hit her or anything at that moment. I forget. I think she just, again, communicate, man. Yeah. You guys have these pent up feelings.
Right.
No one's saying anything, and you're letting them out in a toxic way.
A relationship is never going to work if, like, in a serious
serious scenario.
If you have major, what do you call it? Sensitivities.
Yeah.
If you're feeling those things, you got to work through it because those are like intrusive thoughts and feelings that are going to undermine and erode everything.
Yeah.
They're going to just rip through because if someone's really cheating, you know, or if there's real disrespect going on, that's going to destroy it.
Well, but there's that trust
if
is out the window.
If it's not happening and you're thinking it's happening, I mean, it's no good. It's like rot, you know, it's just going to go through everything and just destroy it.
Well, yeah, your mind just is powerful in the sense that it'll make it worse. You just go down that rabbit hole, just like when, you know, we fuck up and, you know, you go down that rabbit hole, how, you know, like for me, I go down my rabbit hole, I'm garbage, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, you fall down those depressed thoughts, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, you know, really, that's how I took that movie. There was little communication at one point, especially with the power change, the power roles. He's feeling very emasculated because, you know, he wants to improve himself.
Right.
She's not really wanting him to do, you know, like there's just this thing at hand where there's unsaid conflict between these two, and he needed to say something.
You know what's funny?
And she needed to say something too. I would be fucked up if I fucking found out my wife's going out 2 in the morning because it's a work event.
Right. My boss needs to talk to me at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's kind of how like the promotion came about. It was
but
like 2
in the
morning.
My boss is also a dick. I know my boss is a dick who probably would try to have sex with you. So and on her defense, nothing like that ever actually happened. No one ever came up on her. But let's be real about CEO types.
Oh,
the douchebags. But
he called her a dumb bitch.
The boss did?
Yeah, because she like lost like $25 million on a stock. You're a dumb fucking bitch. Like it was like rough. I was like, God damn. I felt like he meant that about that lady for real.
Personal.
Like I felt like he hates her as an actor.
Jeez.
Like he was like, no, I
never liked you.
Like I really mean this.
Wow. He's a good actor then.
No, there was conviction behind that.
No, it's so fascinating because like we were at dinner with some people last night, and the gal, like we were kind of joking about this thing, and it's interesting, and I totally understand and respect this point of view, but she was like, was it the guy thing where like he felt smaller because of her and blah blah blah, And I'm like, I totally get that, because there is something in our culture where like a woman has to make her man feel good. But the sad truth is there is something in our culture where a woman needs to help her man feel good. Like our culture,
I think it has to go both ways.
There is acknowledgement that if a man doesn't have a good job, doesn't have things kind of in order, it's going to be harder to get a girl, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there is a social expectation at some point in your life to be attractive enough as a mate or a potential mate that you need to have certain things in order. Now, that's not always the case, because then you got that bad boy thing that I never understood, where it's like you can be a dirtbag and whatever.
I heard this clip from a podcast kind of referring to that, where he's telling these group of girls, you would not get with a guy if he was fucking working at Burger King. Mm. If this was his job, working at like fast food,
sure,
you're going to ignore that guy. Whereas a guy wouldn't do that to a woman who works at Burger King.
Sure. Right. True.
You know, like, and that was kind of his point.
That part I agree with.
Yeah.
You know,
like the way he said it, I got where he was going.
Sadly, I think men, as long as the girl was attractive, I like whatever you want to call attractive. If the guy's attracted to her, it doesn't matter what her job's going to be.
There is some women where it's more like, I need my man to be.
But that's the social expectation.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. We're all born into this system, whether we like it or not, where there are these certain pressures. It's not just men trying to be assholes. There's a pressure on men to be good enough and to prove themselves. So yes, if his woman gets a promotion and he doesn't, there's going to be a social stigma that he has to deal with that says you're not really a man. And it's not fair. I'm not saying that's the right thing or a good thing, but it's not one side trying to be mean to the other side. We all have these tough pressures on us all the time. And I think we get, like the Barbie movie I mentioned, there's a whole scene where America, what's her name?
Chavez.
I don't remember her last name.
America
Ferrara.
America Chavez is a character in a Marvel universe.
Okay.
That's her name, America Chavez.
I'm like, I don't think
I'm thinking of
America Ferrera's character.
Thinking of comics.
She's like, she says like all these pressures all the time. You can never get anything right. Blah blah. And I'm like, I feel the exact same way, and I know in like a different way, but. The reality is we're all stuck in a world that expects certain things out of you.
Yeah.
And it often expects multiple things out of you at the same time that are not.
You know, it's wild. Isn't it crazy that what she says is how even the guy feels?
Universal.
It goes both ways, but there's this miscommunication.
We won't talk to each other because, and I get it, but I think, I mean, like all of our issues today, whatever the issues are, whether it's like the race issues, the class issues, the gender, all these differences, we're all at the end of the day the same animal. We're the same creature.
You just got to listen to each other.
We got to be real with each other. Everybody's kind of hurting on some level.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, man. Like,
I'll end this on this light note.
Yeah. 100th episode. We got to end light.
Yeah. So this was funny. Like, I don't know. So I was with JJ. Mm-hmm. We were coming from, I don't fucking know where we were coming from Costco because we had to take Larry, our RIP Larry. We had to retire him. He stopped working. Our little Roomba shark.
I'm like, who the fuck is Larry?
Larry. That we named our little like vacuum Larry.
Larry died.
So we got Larry 2.0.
Did Larry have a heart attack or something?
I don't know. He just keeps thinking he's falling off a cliff. Error 7. Check my cliff sensors. I'm falling off a cliff.
Larry was losing his marbles, so we killed him.
So we got a new Larry.
Poor Larry. Dude, okay.
I will say, Costco has a great return policy.
Yeah? Did you return Larry for a new Larry?
I got full refund for Larry.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've used Larry for a while.
Yeah.
Not a whole year, but it's been a hot minute.
But Larry should have worked a little longer.
Oh, way longer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just all of a sudden stopped working.
Yeah.
Like, Larry, bro, you got to do your job around here. Do I need to name you Mario?
I sat down with Larry, but he wasn't willing
I got to name you Juan or what? Come on, Larry, I need you to work.
I'm not laughing at that one.
He's laughing. That's fucked up.
I laughed at first, then my brain caught up. And that's not funny. You are a prejudiced man.
I know. No, anyway. But anyway, so we're driving back and we're talking about I don't know how it got brought up, but it was the first thing. JJ goes, we'll never know what the first thing we the first thing we tasted was as a kid. And I was like food? He's like, no, when we're born, that first taste, that first breath of air.
What the hell was he thinking about?
We'll never know what that's like. And I'm like, and I sat there, what? And I had an edible, so it kicked in. It already had kicked in at this moment, and I was sitting there driving. We're almost home, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right, man. Damn, I'm thinking that's pretty deep, right?
Yeah.
Because that's true. I started thinking, I was like, I can't remember. Because he was like, oh, that's what it was. You'll never remember. We never remember when we're a baby. We only have these little snapshots of things, but you don't remember when you're a baby. You don't start. Right. He goes, I thought you don't come to consciousness till you're 4 years old, is what he told me. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, but I remember when I was a baby. I remember came out of the womb. I remember that. I was telling him, I was joking, obviously.
Dang.
But no, then when he said that, yeah, but we'll never know the first taste. I was like, you mean taste like if we tasted the air, how that tastes and this and that? He's like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? That's fucking true.
I never thought
I wonder what that would have tasted like now.
Yeah, a little bit like vagina, I would imagine, but
tastes like a placenta.
I'm tasting.
What's that little sack?
An awful lot of protein.
What is the sack they're in?
Yeah, placenta, right?
Yeah, I don't know. They're in something.
In the uterus. They're in.
Yeah. The water tastes a little weird.
A little salty.
They lick their lips and that's why they're crying.
Put me back in there.
What is this?
Man, no, he's so right. I mean, we will never know what it was like. That first time that our lungs begin to work.
Yeah. So then I was like, wonder what the first thing I tasted.
He's a philosopher.
I can't remember the first thing I tasted. I was thinking about that.
Either.
I asked Lucy.
Breast milk.
What's the first thing you remember, the taste of? You know what I mean? I remember the first time I bit into a bar of chocolate.
I don't remember at all. I don't remember the first time I had something really good. I don't remember the first time I liked pizza.
I love pizza.
And I do too. I've eaten so much of it over the years. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. JJ has brought up a really fascinating topic.
You brought that up, and I was just tripping out.
Is it like repressed memories? Do you think that our baby memories are somewhere in there, just in our lizard brain?
They say we everything's there. It's just
when we die, we're gonna flash back to that moment.
So we watched this show Eden. It was an anime.
Yeah.
It's only 4 episodes.
Like the Garden of Eden, is that?
Yeah, it's kind of essentially what it is because Earth's kind of crops are dying and stuff. So this guy's creating Eden, and so people are going to these the sleep what is it, cryogenic or
yeah
something they're freezing them. And so she got saved by these robots, so she was raised by the robots, so she actually understood them, and because they would talk, some of them would talk, but someone's like beep beep beep, and she's like, I know the affirmative, beep 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 beep.
But she didn't talk back in beeps though.
But the guy was in a consciousness, his consciousness was in one of the robots, and he was the bad guy, and then he remembers, she does something to trigger a memory. Because the robot, he's like, okay, when you put me in this state, I need you to erase anything that is me.
But
right?
He didn't do it.
And she goes, I can't. The AI told him, I can't do that. I can only pretty much I can encrypt you there, so you'll never remember that, right? And then somehow the little girl was able to. She was little, but I don't know. This girl was able to unlock that in him, his subconscious, and it was cool. It was a really cool movie, but it was he unlocks that subconscious, and she's and he's like, oh shit, oh my god, so it was really cool the way they did the show. But
I love you.
Yeah, it was dope. His character was pretty crazy.
That's cool.
Zero. That's his name. Zero. Just call me Zero.
So
he was this badass looking robot.
You know what's so crazy about that is it kind of takes the Bible and flips it on its head. Instead of the birth of the beginning, it is the end.
Oh, there you go.
The end is Eden. Yeah. And you end up with a man and a woman, right? Essentially.
Yeah. This was Eden was Earth became Eden.
I think I just had an edible. That just blew my mind.
Dude, I'm so gone. Yeah. No, but anyway.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what I was going to do.
That's crazy. Hey,
anyway, happy 100th
happy
episode.
100th, man. You guys, you've stuck with us for 100 episodes. Yeah. Still love this guy, man. Yep. We're hanging in there. We went golfing last weekend.
That was fun.
Good times, and want to do it again. This weekend, I'm painting and doing shit.
No, this weekend ain't happening.
Soon, we've got to go back.
Yeah,
we hit up a little par 3 golf course. I got to hit that one up again, I think, because that was nice.
It felt good.
Little 18 holes.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Really 9 holes, but like
I want to get those. If that guy ends up smelling me those, I want to try those.
Hey, guy, I want some of those tees too.
I have to find out his name. I have the email somewhere.
Yeah, let him know.
He was cool.
We brought them up on the podcast. So if you are a dentist or in the dental field looking for some dental
hook up,
look at Burkhart. If you mention Just Really Blended, they'll give you 10% off of your overall
no, they
price.
Won't.
Probably not. Hey, they might. They might. 10% is not that much, Burkhart. For you, come on.
Dental equipment's expensive.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Have a good one.
But yeah, you guys take it easy. We'll see you next week.